G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. Now then, we have been exploring around this section where the Umgar are. There's a fun little phrase. It might be worth perhaps seeing if we can drop in on the way here to try and collect just a little bit more fuel. But I believe we're heading up in this direction somewhere towards the Thraddash, who we haven't really found yet, but they are up in this direction. And that is where, indeed, the... there's a lot of Draconis systems, one that I'm looking for in particular, Zeta, wherever it happens to be. This is where the Ilrath are heading towards. But I have no Eta, that's not quite it. Theta, oh come on, now you're just being mean. Iota, I'm assuming this one over here will be too far away. It is. Where on earth is Zeta Draconis? Epsilon. All the favourites. Alpha, oh goodness me, I have not even the foggiest clue where this thing that we're looking for is. Perhaps it's close. What is that giant star? Looks like a completely different thing, just sort of tucked into the middle of too many Draconises. That looks like the one that we're heading towards. So now that we've spent all of that time wisely, how about we head over in this direction to do a little bit of whatever's with the Melnorm. Not going to worry about trying to find anything here. I'm so glad that we're taking the short way through this solar system. That's some clever autopiloting. And we'll see how we go when we get ourselves a little bit more fuel. Hopefully there's going to be enough for us to skip about in all of the directions that we need to go. And in terms of our timeline, it's still a fair way away from February of 2159, so I don't think we're doing too badly at the moment. Alright, I can't recall if we've been into this part of space to chat with the Melnorm before, so we'll just have a quick chat with them. But then they typically tend to be in systems, yes, you're my favourite, whatever you are, my favourite tradesperson. Let's sell some material. But the solar systems that... oh, we didn't have any biologicals. That's a shame. Sure. Whoops. Let's get some fuel. They tend to be in systems that have some reasonable materials around, so that might be something for us to keep in mind. Fill all the things. Thank you so much. Yoink. And let's get out of here. Thanks, buddy. So let's go and have a look at... let's go and have a look at some of these planets, just in case there is some useful material lying around, or good bang for buck material, nice, expensive stuff. That certainly isn't it, but that's okay. No real biologicals around. Let's continue on our merry way then, before we head up to have a bit of a chat with the Thraddash. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes, because we've never met them before. We've just sent a horde of nasties towards them. But I don't know if we have to wait until they actually hit that point on the star map before we get the effect that we want, which is to be able to get in there and steal... Halide World. To be able to get in there and steal the thing that we need. Let's just have a real quick look at our manifest, because again, this is one of those things. Are they all going to be corrosives, or are they going to be radioactives? Are they oranges or reds? Let's have a look again. They're reds, so we're going to ignore them. And we'll go somewhere else. Whee! So we had a brief little run-in with the Umgar there towards the end of the last episode. The little blobbies, they didn't seem terribly happy with us, but we did take care of them. Not really anticipating needing to spend much time talking to them, although it is clear that they have the talking pet, which is one of the things that we do need on our I almost said never-ending quest, but soon-to-be-ending quest to save the galaxy from the Ur-Quan. I believe one of the things... Oh, goodness me, look at all this stuff. Let's just go and check the thing that might be a treasure planet, and we may just leave it at that. One of the things I think that we're going to need to protect ourselves from the talking pet is the Tarlo shield, which I believe is over in Ur's space. We were there before, and I neglected to pick it up. Here we have some nice, juicy treasure. So we're going to collect all of this treasure, and it's going to go into our cargo hold. So that we can sell it for fun and profit. Bravely losing ourselves one crew member. Nearly full load there. Let's go and grab these remaining bits. Will we lose someone else? Yes, we will. But what a worthwhile sacrifice it was, because we now have an arbitrary number of extra resources that we can use to buy more crew. So it all works out in the end. What have you got for us, Pellucid World? Oh, I'm glad we came here then, because it's some nice exotics there. Let's see if we can land right on top of them and pick them up. Oh no, the precision is way out. Pick them right up without any extra effort. Not really. Still having to do the long drive. Good-o. And will this one over here also be a Pellucid World with more exotics for us? Let's find out. The rest of the planets in the system having pretty much nothing. Super dense world. I'm not imagining there's going to be much on that. And lucky last, this little green moon. Nope. That also looks very unpromising. But that's fine. Let's save the game before we open the star map and begin the next leg of our long journey. We're doing a little bit of a circuit of the galaxy. Hang on, which way are we facing here? Let's get ourselves so that we're sort of pointing towards an edge. Open that star map. The Ilrath still on the move. And we were going to head towards Zeta Draconis. There it is. Let's get cracking. Now, I believe that after we've gone here, we should be able to move somewhere up over this direction. I think somewhere up here, somewhere around in this area, might be that one, is where the thing that Admiral Zex wants us to get is, that rare creature, so that we can take things back to him, get the Shafixti Maidens, try and head all the way down to the bottom here, where we're going to get the Shafixti to ally with us somewhere around here. Delta Gorno, I think it might have been. So that's one of the many things that we need to do. But then while we're doing this big orbit around all of this Ur-Quan space, there's some folk over here who are integral to the plot in terms of what we need to do and in terms of keeping the Core occupied and giving us some things that we need and kind of a consolidation of a bunch of different quest steps. So that's what we're doing. Presumably at some point we are also going to want to return to Betelgeuse so that we can have the Cyrene on board as well. Now, why on earth are we doing all of these things? Well, it's part of progressing the plot so we can get to the end game. But we are slowly building all of these allies, so we're going to have more ships at our disposal, which is going to give us more tactical variety, so that when we have to fight the baddies, we have more capacity to do that. There's also the case of awakening, or not quite resurrecting, but activating the Chimera. They're sort of down around where the Ilrath were previously. I believe in the Procyon system, and they're an evolution of the race that was previously the Murnherm and the Chinjizu, I think, like a hybrid sort of crystal robot-y species thing. Anyway, these are all things that are in our near future. The main objective at the moment, I think, is to make sure that we get those Korra delayed by them having to wrangle with the What were they called? I think it's the Utwig and the Supox might be the names of the mobs that we're going to go and try and find. Looks like a bunch of ships converging on us, so that could possibly be the Thraddash coming in. They're perhaps not too happy with us. We can't really see any activity here in this system. I believe this is the one where we're supposed to go to nick the thing. So the fact that there's no ships here is possibly promising. Let's sneak around and have a quick look here. I'm assuming if there's something that we need to find, it's going to be an energy signature. But we are going to do, obviously, a thorough survey here because we've come all this way. We might as well fill up the cargo holds with something worthwhile. Because money is good. It's all about that cash. Nothing so far. Good times. And of course, if I did a whoopsie in my homework here, then maybe we're in the wrong place. And if that turns out to be the case, because I don't know right now, doing this live, but if it does turn out to be the case, feel free to give me a hard time about it in the comments. So this might be a radioactive thing, or it might also be a corrosive. Let's just go down and pick it up, because why not? Bromine, that is not what we wanted. So that's a bit of a bummer. We've wasted all of that time and all of that space, so we're going to get rid of it. Farewell. Good times. Cannot waste our precious cargo space on such things. Alright, Planet 7, please give me some good stuff. Good stuff is good. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Sure. I mean, I realize that a comment like this is sort of going to heavily date when this was recorded, but the new, quote-unquote, 2018 Star Control game, I believe, has just been released. This is the one done by Stardock. I believe it is called Star Control Origins. And while we are closing in on the end of, or getting closer to the end of this particular campaign, maybe it might be a fun thing to barrel from this into the new game. I don't know. If you have strong feelings about that in either direction, then once again, please feel free to let me know in the comments, or you can also poke me on Twitter. My Twitter handle, even though it is in the show notes, I'm pretty sure, is Kalinskald. That's Kalinskald. So feel free to poke me there. And seeing as I'm in a spruiken mood, it would also be pretty rad if you do enjoy watching these Let's Plays and you want to hear myself and some colleagues have conversations about video games, game design, programming, and all sorts of other bits and pieces, and the effectiveness of the openings of video games, then, you know, the name of this channel is The First 10 Minutes, because we do a podcast where we play the first 10 minutes of video games and then have a chat about how effective they are at communicating themselves to the players, both in terms of what the game is about and how to play it. And you can find episodes of that right here on the channel. The most recent one that we played was Don't Nod's The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. It's episode 109 of the show. We've been doing this for quite some time. So feel free to check that out here on the channel as well. And if you are super into to all things game development, then I also do another podcast called Downloadable Context, which isn't actually on YouTube, but you can find it at downloadablecontext.com. And if you search for that show name in your podcast app of choice, you will also find it. And I have chats with game developers about what makes them tick. Somewhere in the mid-20s now in terms of episodes. Lots of chats with folk here from Australia and also from New Zealand. A variety of different roles and responsibilities, different companies, different games under their belt. All things that I hope you find informative and entertaining. And it is really nice to chat to colleagues in the industry about how and why they do what they do. So that's my vamping done for right now. We're still exploring. We're still nearly flying into the sun of Zeta Draconis. We're looking for a planet, I'm assuming, if we are in the right place, that has maybe something much like this. So clearly these are going to be the Thraddash. I guess we're about to have a chat with them, and I guess they're also not here. So let's see how this works out. Oh boy, warning, you have entered Thraddash secured space. There is nothing valuable here. I don't believe you. Go away. Okay? Go ahead. Hey, wait a minute. You are after our most ancient and important relic, aren't you? You were going to steal it, weren't you, Snarl? You are sneaky and deceptive, just like the vile Culture 16ers. You shall suffer their same fate. Oblivion! Uh-oh. Is that a cigar? What is going on? Sure. Let's ask some questions. So what's so special about this world? Why all the guards? Very well, since we have a huge number of ships here, I guess there can't be much harm in explaining this to you. Provided you leave when we're done. I'll happily do that. So listen carefully. I am listening. Below us, on the surface of this planet, on the dark continent of Funt, high on a mountain, in an ancient shrine, resting in a special ceremonial cradle, yeah, I get it, glowing with its magical blue light, is the... No, I've changed my mind. You don't get to know the answer. Sure. Sorry, I don't think you are. Shall we troll them? No, I don't think we will. We've decided to leave. Goodbye. If you hurry, we won't kill you. Goodbye. What? No, I asked to leave. What are you doing? That's not what I want. Oh, now I'm going to have to reload the game. I'll see you again soon, folks. Alrighty, folks. So seeing as the Ilrath have a fair way to go before they get over here to the Thraddash, I've decided to head more northwards, sort of around to that area where the creature that Admiral Zex wants us to get is. We're on our way there, but we've been intercepted by a Thraddash ship. So let's have a general conversation with the Thraddash, not at a very important planet. So presumably, when there's only one of them, we'll have a chance of beating them rather than fighting infinite amounts of them should we piss them off. Let's see if we do. So what's this, Snort? An unknown alien species. How wonderful. Someone new to fight. We, the Thraddash of Culture 19, famous Ur-Quan combat thralls, know well the value of a good fight. Either you win and prove your superiority, Snort, or you lose and are vanquished. If the vanquished is lucky, it may survive to learn an important lesson from its defeat. This is the way of the Thraddash. We fight and learn and improve. All other cultural schemes are inferior. This is a proven fact. What have you to say before we begin combat? Sure. What can we do here? Yeah, what can you tell us of your species? Give me some lore. Talk, bah. Talk is for sissies, weaklings like those of Culture 14. For 10,000 years, we Thraddash have fought and died, learned and improved. Then along came Culture 14, which claimed that all this perfect method was wrong, that each time we violently transformed to a new culture, we inevitably blasted ourselves back at least 500 years in development. Some people just can't accept the cost of progress. Indeed, the foolishness of Culture 14's peaceful whining was revealed when they were conquered by Culture 15 after only a 10-year reign. And did The change to Culture 15 set us back 500 years? No, snort. 2, maybe 300 years tops. The short span of Culture 14's reign is objective proof that as a way of life, peace is a failure. Sure, we wish to learn more about your Culture 19. What? Snort more talk? It amazes me that you ever got out of the orbit of your home planet. Yak, 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 yammer, yammer, yammer. Sigh very well, we will talk for a moment. Our Culture 19 is the most formidable ever to appear in Thraddash space. Admittedly, Culture 18 said the same thing, but clearly they were wrong. With our rather swift defeat by the Ur-Quan and subsequent enslavement, we realized that it was time for a change. A new culture had to be established. So, of course, we began a thermonuclear exchange to decide who would lead this new culture. We were all quite disappointed when the Ur-Quan in orbit above our homeworld launched waves of fighters who intercepted all our missiles. The Ur-Quan explained that slaves were not permitted to engage in such destructive conflicts. So my people, being superior, introduced a super lethal poison into our opponent's water and air, thus ending the conflict. Hug, hug, hug. The Ur-Quan were not particularly happy about this resolution and killed all of our leaders, which under other circumstances would have started a larger inter-Thraddash war. But the Ur-Quan appointed new leaders, apparently chosen at random, and explained that further disobedience would result in the destruction of our species. Frustrating, huh? Sure. You mentioned the Ur-Quan. What is your relationship with them? A foolish question. We are their slaves, dolt. What else would we be? When the Ur-Quan first appeared in our space over 50 years ago, coming from the direction of the Ophiuchi stars, we attacked them with gusto, zipping into fire our Mark 6 blasters, and then theoretically zipping back out to prepare for another attack run. Snort, unfortunately, before we could zip out, our ships were either blasted to smithereens by the Ur-Quan's fusion bolts, or were picked apart by the swarms of Ur-Quan fighter vessels. You may wonder why we didn't use our afterburners to escape. The answer is simple. 50 years ago, our ships had not yet been modified for this enhancement. It was not until 2143 that maintenance engineer reinvented the afterburner effect, when he accidentally stuck his cigar in the after fuel valve of the ship he was working on. Waboom! The ship took off like a fog out of hell, and Ryunk was fried to a crisp. Yes, we remember Ryunk with much fondness. Of course, we have refined the device. And now that our entire fleet has been fitted with the Ryunk afterburners, perhaps now the Ur-Quan will let us fight at their side as true battle thralls. Great. Why didn't you fight against the Alliance? Where are the Ur-Quan? We wanted to. Oh, how we wanted to. After all, we were the first battle thralls the Ur-Quan enslaved in this part of space. We thought we had priority. The Ur-Quan thought we were too weak to hold our own in the upcoming battles, so they left us here to guard the flank. If only we had been whimper, stronger, and less snarf troublesome. Another reason the Ur-Quan wouldn't take us with them was because we kept picking fights with the new battle slaves, like the Umgar blobbies, or those religious idiots, the Ilrath. Smack talk. Where did they go, you ask? This is a secret, of course, we can't tell you. If we told you that they were fighting a secret war against a mysterious invader, you might find some way to use that information against our masters. Is that so? So forget it, no secrets. Sure. let's just get out of here so we can get on with the things that we're doing, because we already have this matter in hand. What? You leap before the lesson begins. We have so much to teach you. Let us show you just one thing. It's called the surprise attack. Oh man, you learned me. Let's get this going then. Hello. Hopefully I'll be able to hit you at some point in the near future, but oh boy, you are fast. Really just cruising your way away there, aren't you? There we go. Problem solved. I'm not imagining we're going to get a ton of resource units for that. No, the ship's fairly small. But that's more RUs in our bank account. And we continue sailing on our merry way through hyperspace up to the kind of like the mid-north of the map. I don't know how much further we have to go, but we'll find out soon enough. No other readings there on the little mini-map. We're around about the same period of time as we were before when we just got progression cul-de-saced in that infinite Thraddash battle around the planet that we need to go to. When you go there correctly, it progresses the story without any drama, but when you don't, you have to load the game. Thank you, 1990s game progression. But once we get up in this area, at least we'll be able to pick something up that we can carry around with us as we continue trying to race the clock here and get this core R matter in hand before it gets out of control. So what's happening here with these stars? This looks fairly familiar. I believe that we're approaching the system that we're going to go into now. That constellation is at the top of the map. It is. So here's the thing. We are in the Delta Linker system, and that is all the time we have for this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel, and please tell a friend if you think they might enjoy this, and come back again soon for more Star Control 2.